Welcome to the classes of St. Michael's Academy. This is the geography class for class 9 and we were doing chapter 5 of your book, that is weathering. Welcome to classes of St. Michael's Academy. This is the geography class for ninth standard and we shall continue studying chapter 5, weathering. In the last class, we studied about mechanical weathering. Mechanical or physical weathering, if I need to repeat myself, means the disintegration of rocks by physical or mechanical means without changing the mineral or chemical composition of the rocks. It takes place through various means such as work of temperature changes, under which granular disintegration was explained to you, and then block disintegration and then exfoliation. All these processes are the work of temperature changes, and in today's class we'll be studying about work frost and how it leads into disintegration of rocks. So the work of frost, which results into the disintegration of rocks, is actually a process in which the first step is that when rainfall occurs, it fills up the joints and cracks in a rock, as you can see in the following image. If you know even a little bit of science, you would know that when water freezes into ice, the volume increases. As you can see in image A, water fills up the crack on the rock, and then when it freezes to ice, maybe at night, the volume increases, and when the volume increases, obviously the crack, it widens. This process keeps on taking place for many days, where what happens during the day, the water melts, and during the night it again freezes. This creates a pressure on the rock, and it is constantly widening. So slowly and gradually, a small rock filled up with very little water slowly and gradually widens up so much that the rocks are now ready to fall apart. This happens because when the crack widens and again rainfall occurs, the volume of water also increases. When the volume of water increases again, the volume of ice increases, which makes the hole or uh, the space between the rocks more and more wide. Finally, the work of frost makes a rock divide into two parts. This is known as the work of frost. The next topic for today is chemical weathering. Chemical weathering is the disintegration of rock caused by chemical alteration of the mineral structure. What happens is that rock contains different minerals, and when they are combined with the different elements of the nature, being oxygen or hydrogen or water, which contains both oxygen and hydrogen, and other elements such as carbon dioxide and the minerals contains in rocks, when all these things come in combination, it causes the chemical composition of the rocks to change, and when they change, they start to break apart or they start to decompose. This is what chemical weathering actually is. Oxygen is a reactive element. It reacts with rocks through a process called oxidation. One example of this type of weathering is rust formation. Rust formation occurs when oxygen reacts with iron to form iron oxide. Rust can change the color of the rock. As you can see in the following image, the mountain is slightly reddish in color. This is the result of the mixture of iron and oxygen. So rust, it changes the color of the rocks, and iron oxide is much more fragile than iron. So the weathered region becomes more and more susceptible to breakage. When iron exists as ferrous oxide, it is hard and resistant to erosion. However, due to oxidation, it changes to ferric oxide and wears away easily. The next type of chemical weathering is known as carbonation. So carbon dioxide when dissolved in water forms carbonic acid. This carbonic acid attacks many rocks and minerals and brings them into solution. The carbonated water has an etching effect upon some rocks, especially limestone. The removal of cement that holds the sand particles together leads to their disintegration. In chemical terms, what happens is that first carbon dioxide mixes with water to form carbonic acid. And when this carbonic acid reacts on limestone, that is calcium carbonate, it results into the formation of calcium bicarbonate, which leads to the disintegration of the rocks as it removes the cement that holds the sand particles together. Hydration is one of the most common processes in nature and works with secondary minerals such as aluminium oxide and iron oxide minerals and gypsum. Soil forming minerals in rocks do not contain any water and they undergo hydration when exposed to humid conditions. That is, when rainwater enters into the rocks, it increases the volume of the rocks and reduces the minerals to powder. Hydrolysis is the most important process in chemical weathering. It occurs due to the dissociation of H2O into hydrogen and hydronium ions. During hydrolysis, the hydronium ions from water combines with minerals and change them completely. So when the hydronium ions from water combines with the minerals of rocks, it brings about changes such as exchange, decomposition of crystalline structure and formation of new compounds. When feldspar is completely hydrolyzed, clay minerals and quartz are produced. Elements like potassium, calcium, sodium, magnesium are released. Besides the mentioned processes of chemical weathering, some minerals are removed in solution from the rocks. Rocks are then decayed. Regions where chemical weathering is most effective are the equatorial climatic region and tropical humid regions.